It's absolutely classic. It's 100% classic. And I have to, because the thing is, and hi everybody out there in
Hello.
Facebook land and social media land. The thing is, you went through a bunch of different voices throughout all that. Like you didn't just do your own voice.
No.
You did an Italian East Utica guy. You did some dude from Hick from up north. You
Yep.
did,
Hey.
you were, I'm sorry. That wasn't directed to you at all. I promise. That wasn't directed to you at all. You went through the whole spectrum
I did.
Of people.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool.
And then I had to remember what I did for each one on the way back down, and that it got funny at the end because I think that I changed a couple on the way back down. Oh man!
So what we're talking about is Justin, God, I think it was back in 2017, recorded the 12 Days of Utica Christmas for us here in the studio. And it was great. I mean, he knocked it out of the park. And the very next day, we had Ryan Quinn come in and do it. And no offense to Ryan, he did a great job with it, but it couldn't compare to what Justin
It didn't have the pizzazz.
It didn't because Justin went through all these characters throughout, and it's like, how did he do that? You know, he went through. It's the 12 Days of Christmas. He had 12 different voices.
Well, there's more than 12 characters in Utica.
Sure.
So.
The only one he was missing was Rainbow.
Rainbow. I was just gonna say Rainbow. I didn't do, but I could probably do a good Rainbow impression these days. But back then, yeah.
Nice know you. Yeah. You joined the orchestra.
You got to smoke?
But I have to bust it out, and I will bust out. In fact, remind me after we're done today. I'm going to dig that up, and I'm going to put it up on the jingle palette so we can play it.
Definitely,
it's
man.
absolutely classic.
I want to hear it.
That was so much fun.
So good. And shout out, I want to say Gia wrote that, or Angela Johnson, or one of them. I can't remember who wrote it. There was a couple people.
Did they hear me sing it?
Yes.
Whoever wrote it?
Yes. And then the next day we had Ryan Quinn come in and sing it with the girls. And they were all like, we get to sing with Ryan Quinn. You know, I mean, he's a local celebrity, he's a voice and all that. Right? And then I played them yours before we started. And Ryan's just sitting there he's like, dude, I don't know if I can talk.
It's a tall order.
It was a tall order. It was absolutely really cool. And I want to bust that out. I definitely bust it out. One thing I do got to bust out is my sponsorships.
Yes.
Give much love to EJA Moving Services, the professional movers. When you're ready to move and relocate, hit them up at ejamoving.com. Shout out to attorney Dave Longaretta for always keeping me out of trouble. 315-735-6162 for legal advice. Also, big ups to our friends from Utica Coffee. Drinking the Adirondack roast today. It's the generic roast, if you will. And then also Saranac Brewery, too, for always keeping us hydrated here around the D, which I need to go get beer, dude.
Yeah, that's why I keep bringing coffee.
I do. I'm sorry, man. And I told you this before we started. I've been feeling lazy lately. Is it just me or
No,
it's everybody.
Yeah, but I've been feeling lazy since March 16th.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's about right.
I don't know if it's a new thing for me or just you know.
I have a question though. Did any of you guys like March 17th happened? The whole world got shut down, and for some reason you thought it'd be a good idea to drink a 30-pack a week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or 30-pack every 4 days. That's kind of where I was
Well,
at.
my thing was well, I'm just going to take this as a vacation because this is going to be just a crazy 4 weeks.
Yeah, 2 to 4 weeks. Yeah.
So I'm just going to play
I screwed
rummy
up
with
your
my
name,
brother
son.
and get super drunk, and then
Play what with your brother?
Rummy.
I love rummy.
Such a
Oh
good
my
game.
God.
I screwed up your names on the thing over here. Actually, right now, Seth, you are Justin, and you are Seth.
Nice.
It goes to show you what kind of day I'm having.
Yeah, right. No,
People are going to be so confused.
I'm confused, man. It's been that kind of a day.
After 2.5 months of straight drinking, I was like, man, this thing doesn't seem like it's going to end anytime soon, and I'm starting to forget my name, so I should probably calm it down a little bit.
And drink water.
Yeah. What's that? I took a sip of water, my liver went.
It's like, oh man, this tastes like Labatt Blue.
Right.
Man, I don't know.
But actually, I just made a trip.
I'm trying to change your names up. You guys continue on.
All right.
No, but I should have brought beer because I just made a trip yesterday for the Small Breweries Day. I went to Woodland.
Ooh, yeah.
And because they have their Black Friday every year.
Right.
Where they just do and I'm a dark beer guy. I love dark beer. So I always go there on Black Friday. And they have this massive list of just amazing dark beers. And they still have them in bottles. And if you go down to Woodland, you have to get the oak barrel Voyager 2. It is the best, literally the best beer I've ever had.
Wow.
I brought it over to my dad last night, and I'm just have this. And he had a sip, and he's just I have goosebumps. I have goosebumps, Seth.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm like, yeah, it's that good. It's
I can't wait.
It's like chocolate milk, but like a tart chocolate milk.
Thank you,
and
Todd.
It's so good.
Oh, Todd had it. Todd got it. Yeah.
Of course. I don't know what I'd do without Todd. Sorry to interrupt you.
I'm very excited. I just got into the rotation at Woodland again because I was there before, and then like with poor Tim and stuff like that, and then like for some reason like I didn't play there for like a year and a half, and then they booked me on a whim. They were like, "Hey, you got this date available?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Oh my God, yeah. I couldn't wait to get back in. I walk in the door and I'm like, "Am I at the right place?" Because they redid the entire thing. But the last time I played there, it was the old place. And I walked in and it's like huge.
Yeah, they like more than doubled in size.
Oh yeah, and it's like, oh my God, this is great, just in time to shut the country down.
Right? Yeah, they did the entire remodel when everything was shut down.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, when the world opens back up again, this place is going to be hopping, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And like like Keith is planning on putting a stage in there and stuff, and I'm like, give me a call. I want to help out.
Yeah,
like,
me too. I'd love to. Yeah,
it's such a cool spot. Like it's kind of like up on the hill, and it's like kind of like an everybody knows secret because it's like it's a really, really happening place all summer long. It's super packed all summer.
Yep.
And it's like such good beer, and like there's so many good breweries now that like, and like Woodland kind of like pushed the door open for
absolutely
like Copper City and Seven Hamlets and stuff, and like what's there not. Like, even if you just like the the yellow beers.
Sure, yeah, the yellow beers, yeah.
Yeah, like I've seen that like most breweries that I go to will have like their version of the yellow beer.
Sure.
So it's like you can bring your, I only drink Budweiser uncle.
Sure.
And he's going to have like something to drink, and then he might try something.
Don't they
find
normally
out
call it they call it a session ale?
Yeah.
That's what they end up calling it, is the session ale or whatever, and it's more like your Budweiser. I had a brewery open up last year in Frankfurt where I live. It's called Heel Path Brewing, and I went there and tried their beer. I actually had a jalapeno something or other, and it was the weirdest thing. It was so good, but it had like the finish of a pepper.
Yeah,
and it was the coolest thing in the world because like you take the sip and you're like, oh, beer, and then whoa. And it wasn't like spicy at all, but it just had that jalapeno pepper taste at the end of it, and it was like he brewed it with jalapeno peppers. But I mean, just that stuff people are creating, and it's cool because all these craft breweries are trying to find their niche in this huge market now of craft breweries. I mean, they used to call it like small batch breweries and like small breweries, and now they're just as popular and as big as some of the major brands, and they're trying to keep up and trying to find their way. You know what I mean? It's really cool though.
Yeah, like Omegang is like not a craft brewery anymore.
Yes, exactly.
It's like,
really?
Well, it's that big. Like Omegang is huge.
Yeah,
like they ship all over the country. They ship overseas.
Distribution, right?
And it's like when I first started drinking, like that was the
At
like
12.
Yeah,
12.
When I first started like going to like when I was in college and stuff, I was like that prissy kid that brought Omegang to the party, just sipping on my 9% beer when everyone's just getting like smashed on Natty Light, and I'm like, this could taste good. Like you can have beer that tastes good,
right?
You just choose not to, and it's so cool like seeing like those people that used to be the Natty Light type of people, they're like starting to go to breweries because it's like food. You can have like a McDouble every day, and like what it tastes like, and it's it's consistent and it's mass produced and stuff. But sometimes you want to go down to Bella Regina's and get some greens, or go to like some weird hole in the wall Thai place. Like there's other foods, there's other beers out there that you don't know that you like until you try it. So go and try it.
Yeah, my best friend from Ithaca owns a calls it the Ithaca Ale House, and it was one of the first gastropubs in the country. As far as like he actually pairs the food that he serves with the beers he has on tap. He has over 20.
Is that what gastro means?
Huh?
What's gastro?
Yeah, gastro. Food. It's just food.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's in essence food pub. So but anyway, like every single thing on the menu, it'll say in parentheses next to it what style of beer that they have, and you can actually ask the waitresses or bartenders, or like, what do you recommend with this or whatever, and they all know exactly what. And it's the weirdest thing too, because I'm one of those weird people that doesn't like to drink beer with dinner. Like it doesn't taste right. Wine I'll do all day, but but beer for some reason never struck the palate well or whatever. So, but I went down there and he's like, no, you got to do this the right way. You got to take a sip of beer. Then you take a bite, you chew it for a little while, and then right before you swallow it, you take another sip of beer and let it interact with the flavors of the food. And it was mind altering, man. It was like crazy. And like that's the only place now I'll go and like actually drink beer with dinner. So.
What's the name of the place again?
The Ithaca Ale House.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, and he's currently moving into their city center. He's going to have like a 4,000 square foot place with stages and everything for live music and everything. So it's going to be really cool.
You've been going there for years.
Yeah. I've been down in. We've been going to Ithaca, and him and I became friends in 2001 was when I first went down there, and we've been best friends ever since. So
awesome.
Yeah.
You're right, though, Seth. Woodland did pave the way for a lot of these breweries.
Yeah.
You know, of course, Saranac was around in Omegang, but once there was some act that was released in New York State for like you can grow up to so much hops or whatever. I don't know exactly what it was, what act it was, but that came into in action, and then all of a sudden these little breweries started popping up. But yeah, Woodland definitely leading the way. I agree.
Oh,
and like think of all the jobs, because there's like so many now. Like think of all the jobs that were created through it, and how it's like turned into this like culture of people. Like it's like a place. How I always saw like breweries and microbreweries and stuff is like I don't like going out to bars and having like that rowdy, like get drunk experience.
Sure.
And most breweries don't have that because like people are actually there to drink beer that they want to drink, not to just like get drunk and hit on the bartender.
Right.
So it's like they're great places to play because the crowds are always good. They're great places to like go and like have a bite and drink. And
oh crap! Is this a music podcast? I forgot.
It doesn't matter.
We're talking about beer. I love this, man.
Beer, it goes
It's like the only venues now are breweries. So
yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, man.
They're the best venues now.
Yes, they are absolutely, and I totally agree with him in that sense. That I mean, when we were younger, that's all we had was those bars that were packed with people hitting on bartenders and getting wasted. You know, the college crowd, so to speak. Which there's nothing against that. I mean, everybody's got to go through that.
Yeah, everyone.
Right.
McDonald's exists for a reason.
Sure,
and so
sure.
do those bars.
Yeah, I love that analogy too. That's a perfect analogy. I just I love that whole atmosphere and that whole thing. I never got into that whole drinking to get drunk thing. If I happen to get drunk when I'm drinking, then okay,
exactly.
But I mean, I was never like I need to pound this many beers so I can get wasted. You know what I mean? But I don't know the type of you get around that type of people, and then it's like you make new friends and people that are like you.
I have the same mindset because like for a really long time, the only time I drank was at shows because like I started playing shows before I was 21.
Yeah.
So the only time I drank was free drinks at bars.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't get drunk because I need to work.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
Because this was like back in the Birdseed Bandits, we were playing at Kitty Hoynes out in Syracuse, and our show was delayed because like 30 bagpipers came to play in the bar.
Cool.
Now, I don't know. Have you ever been to Kitty Hoynes?
No.
It is smaller than this room.
Yeah.
It is tiny, tiny place. And there was like 30 bagpipers. They're standing on the bar and everything. Like me and Nash are like crying in the back because of, like bagpipes make Irish people emotional.
Yeah, sure.
So we're just like standing by the door, just pounding drinks. And it was like the last show that I was like played drunk.
Yeah.
And I was like, never again.
Yep.
Like I was falling off their tiny little like, tiny stage. And I was just like, not again.
Yeah, right.
Never again.
Right on, man. We should introduce Seth, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
We didn't even introduce anybody.
Nah, you're good.
I got so wrapped up into the 12 days of Christmas. They got me all pumped up. And, like, here we are. It's going to be December 1st tomorrow.
I can't wait to hear that, by the way.
Oh, I know. I can't wait for you to hear that. I can't wait to hear that. I don't remember what it was like, but it's funny because the one thing I love the most about this whole podcast that Z and I are doing here is that number one, nothing is ever scripted, and we never have any idea what we're going to talk about.
If it was scripted, it would probably fall apart.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Todd would have to be here with cue cards, and we don't want that.
I can't read. So.
Yeah, but the other thing is too is that I feel kind of selfish because I get to hang out with musicians that I don't normally get to hang out with because we're always gigging. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Well,
so
now we're not, but yeah.
Right now we're not.
Right.
But I mean, it's cool. It gives me an opportunity to get to know you guys, and that's something I've always wanted to do. So.
Well, I feel like out of any of the musicians, I mean, both of you have been kind of gigging a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, you
I
guys
had 3 gigs last week. I got 3 gigs this week. It's insane. It's like
both
normal.
of you are known to play over 200 shows a year, and now here you are, and in the middle of a pandemic, but you're at least getting some gigs in.
Yeah. And it's like I've kind of been taking them sparingly and kind of venue dependent,
Right?
Because, like, and I'm not going to call out any names, but there's some places that aren't doing it quite the best, like
Safe wise,
safe wise, and I'm just like, I don't want to feed into that problem because that's what's going to keep me from playing shows sooner.
Exactly.
So I'm like, just do the right thing. There's a right way to have music at your venue.
Yep.
It's not hard. Just do it right, please. So we can start playing the actual shows soon.
Right.
Which actually leads me into this. We're doing a virtual show with the Old Main this Saturday.
Oh my God! I wish I could be there.
Tickets, the tickets, you can watch it right from the comfort of your own home, brother.
I can't though.
Oh, okay.
I have to play.
All right. Well,
Sorry.
you could get it on your smartphone, and while you're playing, you could put it off to the side on a music stand. You can
That'd
watch.
be so weird if I was playing, but I had the Old Main in my ears. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it's like when you're playing a bar and they don't turn the music off.
Right. Oh my
Well,
God.
we should be used to that. By now.
It's like I'm trying to play and like Kid Rock's playing in the background. I'm like, oh, this is great.
My favorite thing about going and playing at a bar is no matter what bar you go to, they will never be playing genre-specific music to what you're playing.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
You walk in,
try being in a weird
imagine you
genre.
guys. Oh my God, I can't imagine you guys. But like, I mean, we're a variety band, but we don't do any like crazy metal or like anything like that. And I swear, every time we go into a bar, it's either like electronic pop, it's like thrash metal or old like twangy country.
Yeah.
I had a technique at the electric company back in the day. So if I had a hippie band playing and it was packed with all like jam banders, to get everybody out, I'd play Slayer at the end of the night. And they'd clear right out. So then when I would have a metal show, I'd play like Moe at the end of the night, and the whole band would clear. It worked. It was better than a bouncer yelling at you
For some reason,
to get out.
for
It
some
worked
reason,
like a charm every time.
For some reason, the band only took 20 minutes to pack up instead of the usual 3.5 hours.
Right. They're like, whoa! Going on in the background and stuff. They're like, what is this? Hey, it worked. They got everybody out.
Yeah, sure.
Or the bars that when they turn the music back on, they're somehow louder than the band was.
Yes.
After they had said the entire time, can you guys turn it down?
Turn it down?
Can you turn
like,
it down?
you guys are a little loud. Yeah. We're trying to, like, we've had a couple people talking, but it's like as soon as you're done, they're like, blasting Kid Cudi in your ears, and like.
And this is totally not a rag on bars at all. I mean, this is like, it's
there's ones that do it right.
Right. Yes. Right. Exactly.
And
Most of them do it right.
There was this one incident that I had Joey Belladonna from Anthrax play, right?
Was it Chief Bigway, his band?
Chief Bigway play, right? And so at the end of the night, some idiot decides to play Anthrax on the jukebox afterwards, and not only play Anthrax, but played like the whole catalog.
Oh man!
And Joey looked at me, he's like, "Z, is there a way we could shut this off? Like the artist doesn't want to hear their music after they're done playing.
No,
it's not,
God, no.
And those guys think it's cool. Joey, let me get a picture, man. Sing Indians with me, bro. Come on, man. He's all drunk and spitting all over him. And Joey's like, get away from me, dude. Shut this off. Can you pull the plug on the jukebox, please?
Dude, you want to talk about a show? Have you ever seen them, Chief Bigway?
No.
Okay, so here's the lead singer of Anthrax, gets behind a drum kit and plays cover music for 4 hours straight with no break, and he's the lead singer behind the kit.
Yeah.
It's incredible to watch, and you're just like, are you kidding me, man? I mean, it's like
And
you
hitting
don't
all
see
the
that
notes,
shit.
too.
Oh yeah, from behind the kit. I can't sing sitting down. I've tried. I mean, I can, but it's just not the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I got to get used to it now because of the whole I mean, I kind of got used to it over doing the live stuff and everything like that. You kind of start to develop it, but
yeah, and like I kind of had the same thing because I even record standing up.
Yeah, me too.
And it's like when I was sitting in my chair doing live streams on my first one, because like for some reason I have this tick where I like sway like this as I'm playing.
Yeah.
And it looks very stupid doing that in a chair. And like when I watched it back, I'm like, I need to consciously not do that.
Right,
because it looks pretty dumb.
The sad part is that like if you're being conscious about that, then your playing and your singing is gonna it's gonna suffer because you're so worried about what you're looking like. And like when you're on stage, nobody cares. I mean, look at the rock star poses you see. Like people get pictures taken.
Yeah.
I mean, there's right now for our band, we got this thing, and I swear every gig and it looks like I'm about ready to blow a big fart. Like I'm like literally going like this, and it's like the most unflattering picture ever. And I don't know why Joe continues to use it, but there it is. And some guy calls me out on it last time we played at Lucas, and he literally posted on. He's like, "That dude looks like he's gonna fart." And I'm like, "Thank you."
Have you seen the picture thread where they took like famous guitarists and replaced their guitars with snails?
Snails, yes, slugs, yeah.
Oh my god, it's so
hilarious.
funny.
John Mayer with his like
because like the guitar face and just like big slug.
Do you think that swaying is part of your muscle memory though?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I was talking to somebody about it, and they actually pointed out, because in the Birdseed Bandits I played the feet drums, and like I literally had to like do that while I played,
right?
And like I did that for 4 years straight, so now I'm just doing it without the drums now, and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Which that's incredible, by the way, that people that play foot drums and guitar at the same time, like
no doubt.
I mean, like my
calves. I have great calves.
Sure, yeah. Well, that was what I was going to say. Like my tick when I play and like when I'm playing is like my foot literally comes off the ground. My heel comes off the ground, and I'm constantly like this. And I never realized how much I did it until my 3-year-old goes. All of a sudden, he's just sitting there, and he's playing air guitar to a song, and he's going like that. I'm like, buddy, what are you doing? He's like, I'm doing what you do, Daddy. And I'm like,
nice.
Oh crap, I do that all the time, and it's like, oh God, and then you get conscious of it, and then you get kind of insecure a little bit, but then you're like, fuck it.
See, I love that stuff, because like when you're watching a band, and especially if you've seen them quite a bit, you start learning their ticks and stuff.
Sure.
And I remember when the Rusty Doves were playing stuff, and Jerry on the bass, we'd always call it the Jerry Stomp, because he would just do that while he was playing, and I'm like, that's his thing.
That's his thing.
And it's like, don't take your ticks away. Like
no,
that's
don't.
That's what,
oh my
that's
God.
what makes it interesting.
Yep. It's definitely a cool thing, and it's all part of the artistic end of in the creative end of the playing. You know what I mean? So,
is there anybody local that you haven't played with that you want to play with?
Showtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you just saying that because he's sitting to you?
No, we've talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're like.
That would have been my answer,
like,
the old main, definitely.
Yeah, we need to do like a Saranac Thursday where like all of us are up there and we're just doing all the songs and just not giving like one care in the world and just see what happens.
Absolutely.
Because it'd be fun. Like,
I mean, like I told you I was going to talk about it when we went Talking to Town. We were on the radio show Talking to Town, and I was there, and they like as I'm playing and talking, they're coming in and setting up. I'm like, oh, this is freaking awesome. The old main's coming in to play. I'm like, this is great. And they like literally brought, you guys all had your gear and like in this little studio, and I'm like, this is awesome. These guys can set up anywhere.
They can,
and we did.
And they have.
And so like Dave, I think it was Dave Coombs at the time, or no, was it Dave?
Yeah, Beth and Dave.
Beth and Dave. And Dave's like, all right, and we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, the old main and Justin are going to perform a song together. And we all of a sudden, our eyes bugged out of our heads. We all looked at each other like, we are?
Yeah.
Okay. And like we came up with a song. It was awesome. I mean, it was just so like raw and real.
What did you guys do?
Can't You See, I think? Yeah.
Just Can't You See.
Can't You See, yeah. Yep. And it was just the coolest thing. And like, I felt like we gelled pretty well together, all of us, and just like really felt it. You really felt it, you know what I mean? So.
And it's just fun playing with musicians. Because like, especially when you don't play with them often, you pick up, the little, bits and pieces that will make you better. And like, especially with guys, and I'm just gonna, like you guys are just so good and like so tight that like Nash and I, like all three, Nash, Mitch, and I would like go to shows and be like, kind of like looking, because we're like, okay, well, like what can we do to make our show a little bit better? Like, oh, okay, like, they're kind of like fading into the song here. Like, we're trying to do you guys have like a set list, or are you just calling them out? Like, little things like that, because like I said, like I didn't really like go to a lot of shows when I was younger and started playing. I just started playing shows. So I wanted to try to get out of bad habits. So I'd like go to like, Showtime shows, Gridley Page shows, Rusty Dove shows, where you guys were already kind of, doing it for a while. So we were just like, okay, like what can I do to make my show a little better and take from these guys? And it's definitely helped over the years. And like going to like big shows and being like, okay, maybe you don't need to go as all out as we think, because like when you're younger, you want like all the big lights, all the big show, like all the big. And do you know who the Avett Brothers are?
Yeah.
So I went to an Avett Brothers show at Omegang, and I'm like, they're not doing anything special up there. Like, they're just playing the songs with, a decent light show, great
a lot
sound.
more gear.
Yeah. See, but not even that much more gear. He's like, they're all DI'd acoustic instruments, and they have like a Marshall 20 watt on stage for that one song they have an electric guitar in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this isn't magic. It's just, learning how to do it and do it right and do it well.
Of course.
And then you don't need the Kiss show to like draw people in.
Right.
Unless you're Humphreys McGee and you have the greatest light show of all time.
Yeah, they have so much gear they think they're Led Zeppelin.
Oh my God!
They've moved their gear so many times.
You
think they're Led Zeppelin. They have so much
but
gear.
like with that, like there's an art to it, and it's like that's why I love when we're working with Finelli. Because Elliot knows our songs now, and he knows all like what lighting cues to do, and he doesn't do anything like ridiculous and spectacular, but it's spectacular in its own way because it's just so simple. Just keeping it simple, hitting the beats here and there, and
it becomes part of your show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It really does. Instead of like oh wow, look at that light show, and then you're taking your focus off the band, which is the real focus. I mean, but if a really good light guy, to me, I think Fidelli and Elliot are two of the smartest people I've ever met in my life, and especially when it comes to like music production and everything like that. And to watch the two of them work together and how they are with bands, especially with the amount of different bands that they have to work with on a yearly basis, it's like amazing to me how they do that. But I know exactly what you're talking about. Like I've always wanted more of a light show, not too big, but I've always wanted more of a light show to kind of work with what we do, and we have a light guy, which is great, Tony, and we have the lights, we have moving lights that we only use for big shows, which I mean, maybe once or twice a year we'll bring them out, but we got them if we need them. But I totally get what you're saying though,
Yeah, it's like focusing on what makes the band good first, and then just kind of like just adding what's enhancing it, not just adding stuff to add it. Just for a while, we were just like, maybe we'll like, put lights around this, blah, blah, blah. We'll do this and this and this. And then just after a while, it's like, but do we need it?
Yeah.
Right.
No. And then we'll find something that is working and be like, okay, like we're keeping that.
Yeah.
So it's like finding the little things that kind of just enhance your show, not like you were saying, just distracting from it. Unless like that's your thing, like Humphrey, and like you always think of like a Rush show or something, or a Pink Floyd show. It's just like that's just part of the show.
Yeah, it's like another member of the band.
Yeah, and it's like Old Maiden's not going to be Pink Floyd, so why try to do that?
Justin, how about that? The Old Maiden used to take field trips to Showtime shows.
Oh my God, I'm like, it literally gave me goosebumps when he said that because I'm like
we did it last summer. When you guys were playing at Lucan's, we're just like,
I'm stuck on my little iPhone watching you guys play, and like there was, I forget what show it was. You guys were like in the middle of a street. It was packed.
We do that a lot, so.
But it was like it was like on a stage, and it was like I forget if it was like fall time, but it might have been in Syracuse, but it was like literally you were playing down the street. It was like, and it was the coolest thing in the world. I thought it was the coolest show, and you guys had so much energy, and it was like, man, I love that. But that's how I watch you guys. I can't take a field trip to your show because I'm usually always playing. So I like literally watch. That's how I watch bands. Is I get used to listening to it on my iPhone. You know what I mean?
And that's like the only downside with being in a band is you don't get to see music.
Other music, right? Exactly.
Like, that's why, like, especially like Thursday shows, like the Thursday after party shows. I'm like, I try to go to as many as I can.
Sure.
Because like, I'm not playing this Thursday. Like, I'm got this, 12 show weekend, but like I'm gonna go out Thursday, try to scope out who I can. Jay Schnitt playing down at Nail, you guys playing down at Lucan's or something, just be like, okay, cool, like loving it.
That's my favorite on a Thursday too. I'll play, and like if we have a break, then that we usually have like a half an hour break, so we play two big sets. And that half an hour, I'm bouncing down the street. I'm like, I want to see who else is playing, and like, I want to be able to be on that side and hear live music. You're like, oh, this is what it sounds like. It's not just what it sounds like in my in-ears. I'm like, okay, cool, all right, But I totally like. I wish that I could get to it. I'll tell you one thing though, you're a good band if you sound good on a cell phone speaker. I'm just saying.
Yeah, good point.
If you could sound good on a cell phone speaker, then and with you guys, and I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I literally am listening to you guys play on my cell phone, and I can feel the music, which is really really cool. So that was definitely one thing that came out of that show, and I can't remember. I want to trying
Was
to
it
remember
Taste of
where it was.
Syracuse?
It might have been. I think it was.
Okay.
Because they had like a street stage or something like that.
Yeah. You were there.
That might have been the video I posted.
Yeah, it might have been.
It might have, it might have
I
actually
posted
been.
like a 10-minute video. That
Yeah.
was back 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, it was a longer video, and like it was a couple songs or something like
Yeah.
that. But man, what a cool show. That was awesome.
Yeah, I love playing Taste of Syracuse.
We had so much fun, man, and hopefully it comes back next year.
Yeah.
But you guys are always got the invite to that because Mama loves you guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I love Mama. She just did the Salt City Waltz.
Yep. Did you see yours?
I did. Yeah.
I did. I saw you guys too. Yeah, and that was I caught
such a
that.
fun night.
Wasn't that a great night?
Such a fun night.
And that's what I love when she does the Salt City Waltz, and she only does it maybe once every 4 or 5 years that it comes out because it's a difficult task to get everybody
it's a
together
thing.
in that room. It is, and to have every great musician in the Syracuse area, and of course she dabbles into the 315. It dabbles into Utica too as well. To have everybody there under one roof and having a good time and drinking and telling stories, and then of course like hanging out with Tim Herron, for instance.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Oh wait, I gotta go play," and like he runs downstairs to the stage, is like he's doing his Neil Diamond thing, and he comes back up, he grabs a beer, like, "So where were we?" Like it's just like
that happened to me all night. Like I was in the middle of a conversation and somebody is just like, "Oh shit!" Like run over to the stage. Like,
You're sitting there with your beer, going, "Okay,
okay, I'm gonna go watch you then."
yeah." I have two things about that show, and I think that Stacy has heard me talk to her about this before. My only dream at that show, and I'm sure that there's somebody that sings this song already, but my dream is to sing at the Salt City Waltz, and I want to do the Night They Drove Old Dixie Down. That is the one that I've always wanted to sing. That's my favorite song by the band. And I've always wanted to do that. And the second thing is, I am obsessed with that singer that played the keyboard. He sang like a whole shit ton of songs. What the hell? He went on. He was a semifinalist on America's Got Talent. He lives in LA now.
Huh.
Oh God. He was sitting. If you were watching the video, he was sitting off to the left, and he was just sitting down playing, and he was singing a ton of stuff. As he's going to look at the comments. Somebody's
I'm trying to see if anybody's comment, and I can't remember.
And I just liked him on Facebook.
I
too.
just thought it was Nanny, but it's not Mark Nanny.
No.
No.
That's another great talent too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
like
love
that,
Mark.
you could just go on and on with Syracuse talent. It's insane, but
Indeed. Yeah, the Salt City Waltz, that's a great time. And was that your first one you played?
Yep.
Okay, so that was 2018?
Yep.
Right? Was that 2018?
I was gonna say when the last one happened because they do happen. I was probably like 10, so.
Yeah. you young whippersnappers.
I'm not that young anymore.
I still think I am.
I know.
I'm going to be 40 next year.
Uh-oh, we're having a party for you. On-air party.
All right, I'm in.
All right. I like it.
That's something that I was going to ask you guys. Do you know any acts right now in Utica that are like young people, like young bands coming up that I just don't know about? Because like how I just knew every other musician was through the Tram.
Right.
And now that the Tram's closed, I'm like, I have no idea who like the young people are.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like especially when I was in the Birdsey Bandits, we were like the 18-year-olds and everything. And I want to be like, who are the new 18-year-olds that I should be listening to? Like, and maybe like people can comment because like
please. I mean, the youngest band I know is Trampoline Jetstream.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
The youngest guys that I know.
Right, and they're in their 20s now.
Yeah.
I was watching those kids in high school.
Oh, remember, you remember when I was that band?
I remember when you were that band too.
When it was us and Reuben James.
You're dating me now. Thanks.
Yeah, it was us and the Reuben James. We'd do our CD release parties at the Electric Company.
Yeah, and right now, like Kate Devin. Are you familiar with Kate Devin?
Yeah, Kate Devin. That's the other one I was going to say.
Absolutely awesome.
She's like 16, isn't she, or something like that?
I think she's older than this. She's finally out of high school.
Oh, okay.
So, but I think she's still a teen.
Yeah.
I think she might be 19 or something. But she's really talented.
I was going to say because she's the only one I can think of like under 22 that I can think of in the Utica area. But I'm like, I want to start like throwing promotion to those people because like there really aren't a ton of places to play. So I'm like, we need to find some sort of way to like highlight local young musicians, especially bands, because I'm like, I just miss good bands. Like when like Trampoline Jetstream like finally got everything together and they started releasing stuff. I'm like, thank God, like a new band in the area.
Right.
I love this.
They got a fresh sound too.
Yeah, and, they're like the best humans. They're great.
They really are.
Yep.
For sure. Other than that, man, I was a judge for that Stanley competition that we had this year.
Okay.
Back in April, and there was some new talent coming across my radar.
Yep.
And now for the life of me, I forget.
Yeah.
I can't remember. So I have to go back to my judging sheet and look because I still have a master copy of it. But there was some good ones out there. A couple of them I was really surprised with. Just had no idea that these people even exist. So there's a few of them.
They're out there. I mean, they're out there.
They have to be.
Because, I mean, it's in the water, man, around this area. I swear it is. Because there's just so much talent just oozing out of this area. And it's always been that way. I mean, we were lucky. We had, when we first came out, we were doing like 50s and 60s music. And so a lot of the older bands that were starting to hit the end of their, tenure or whatever, or playing and, done playing or whatever, like we hopped on their train to kind of like, we would open up for them, and they were like, cool, these young kids want to open up for us, and they play like all the music we grew up with. That's great, And so like, it was funny though, and I every band I talked to and every person I talked to, like if they played when they were younger, the look on people's faces when you get ready to play, and they were like, oh, young kids.
Yep.
Oh, and then you go through the whole thing. You watch their head bob like this. Let's go get a drink. Who's got to pee? Like this, and all of a sudden everybody clears out the floor, and you're like, and as a young kid, you're impressionable, and you're just like, oh God, and you already feel like you suck because everybody's left the stage. Nobody wants to sit and watch you, and you're like, crap. But then you get this like little thing in the back of your mind, and it's like, I'm going to show these people. You know what I mean? And like, and you rip into the first song, and you watch everybody's head just whip around and go, oh, wow, And I'm surprised after all these years and all these younger bands that have come up that people still do that. People still go, oh, crap, the young kids are here.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's I love that. And if I get to see that sometimes, like, when the younger bands play, when I've seen all the younger bands play and stuff. Spencer, when he first came up, and
I was
those guys where you watch them and you see, here's the next guitar guy, and like, you watch three guys in the crowd go, okay, like this, and then like he'd start playing, and like people would go, whoa,
yeah,
those are the guys that would be up there talking to him after, man, you're really good,
yeah, right,
you know what I mean? It's like, wait, but before he started, you weren't even going to give him a chance,
yeah,
but.
Yeah, that happened to us a lot in the Birdseed Bandits, and so we just played as loud and fast as we could because of like the instruments that we had. We were just like, oh yeah, like they're just like some kids in the acoustic band.
Yeah.
And then I'm like jumping on top of my kick drum and jumping off of it, and like breaking 10 strings a show. And,
sure.
Like everyone's like, oh okay, they've got something like. It was like super unpolished in the best way.
Yeah.
But like, that was the appeal of that band. It was just like bluegrass people didn't like it because it was so that way. But then like rock people started to like it because it's like, oh, I didn't know you could do that with a banjo type of thing.
Yeah,
I didn't know you could do that with an upright bass.
Right.
So it's like, oh, like, we kind of got into it being like, well, how are we going to like get into like the bluegrass crowd and everything? And we're kind of had the same mindset a lot through the Old Main, and it's just like, you know what, we're not bluegrass, so we're just not going to try. And then like we played the Bill Knowlton Bluegrass Ramble, which is like this big bluegrass festival out in Syracuse, and it was a very funny thing to watch because we weren't allowed to bring Mitch because no drummers are allowed at bluegrass festivals. It's a very strict rule.
Wow.
At like any bluegrass festival you go to. And then, so we were kind of on a sour note already with that. And then we're talking backstage, and we're just like, should we kind of like bluegrassify it, blah, blah, blah. And then Nash is just like, no, like, let's just go do what we do. And if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. And it was funny because, like, a guy right in the front row, maybe in his early 70s, big cowboy hat, and he was there with his wife. And we get like 30 seconds into our first song, and he just turns to her and goes, nope. Gets up and walks away. And then we saw like 10 people like just kind of walk away.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, okay, whatever. This is a funny story. But then the people that stayed, like, they were super, super into it. So we're like, oh, maybe we kind of like underestimated the bluegrass crowd because, like, music's music. Like, it doesn't need to be bluegrass, because there are like there's like snobs in every genre of music, but I kind of like equate it to like the jazz crowd is very similar to the bluegrass crowd. There's the book of standards that you play, and you play those standards, and that's what bluegrass is, or that's what jazz is. And it's like, you know, when you start playing, like bringing originals into that scene, it's like they either absolutely hate it or absolutely love it.
Right.
Like Nick, when he started bringing his originals in, it's like, oh yeah, that's great because Nick's great and he looks like Captain America. So he's the Captain America of bluegrass.
But he can't do 50 push-ups.
Yeah. And it's funny because like at that festival, we ran into Nick because Nick was playing, and Nick's like, "What are you guys doing here?" We're like, "They told us to come play." And he's just like, "Great!" Like, and he kind of had the same sentiment of like, "I don't know how it's gonna go, but it's gonna be interesting either way," type of thing. And we're like, "Yeah."
That reminds me, you said that jazz and bluegrass are similar in like how they are with everything. Like the Montreux Jazz Festival, the first time Stevie Ray Vaughan performed at Montreux, he got booed off the stage. Very first, Stevie Ray Vaughan, you know, because there was so many jazz purists there, and of course he went in and played Texas blues, and I mean that's just, he did the same thing you guys did. He's like, we're gonna do what we do, and you know, screw them if they don't like it. But
It's the Monterey Jazz Festival.
Monterey, no, Montreux.
Montreux. Okay.
Yeah,
It's Montreux.
Montreux.
Okay. I'm sorry.
It's a different one.
It's a different one.
Yeah.
Where's
different one.
Montreux?
Montreux is in I don't want
Montreal
to
or something?
No.
No?
It's in Europe.
Oh, is it?
France, maybe.
I think it is in France.
I think it's in France.
All right. Sorry. I was thinking Monterey Pop Festival.
Oh,
but
that's what you're thinking, the Pop Festival.
But that was Jimi Hendrix. I was thinking. That's right.
Monterey
Okay.
Pop Festival was
I
Jimmy.
got my guitar screwed up. Sorry. Continue on. Don't mind me.
But like the second time he was there, like people went absolutely crazy because like it's like I think and I'm jumping around and my head's moving faster
Well,
than
it's
my
local
mouth
music
can go.
Monday.
I know, right? Wouldn't be right if I wasn't fumbling everything I say.
No.
But no, it's serious though. Like
It's the ADD in the show.
oh, totally. But like I've noticed this a lot that, and it's even happened at the local level as much as it's happened in the national level. But genres are kind of falling apart.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There's
Right.
not jazz guys anymore. There's not bluegrass guys anymore. There's not rock and pop guys anymore. There's guys that just want to play everything. On a national level, you got guys like Zach Brown Band that are pigeonholed as a country band, but they close almost all their shows with "Killing in the Name of."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Literally, like legit nailing that freaking song.
Yeah,
when they do it.
their last two albums, not country.
No,
Like-
not at all. As a matter of fact, like you know, Showtime strictly does not do country, and we do "Overnight" by the Zach Brown Band because it's like a funk soul song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, like on the national level, you got that, and then you got guys like you who are, I mean, you think Old Main immediately. If you don't know them, you're like, that's a bluegrass band. You know, you see pictures of an upright bass and you know a banjo and a violin. You're like, yep, bluegrass. But then you go to watch one of their shows, and you're like, I mean, I can kind of see the influence, but you know what I mean?
It's just the instruments. Yeah.
It's just the instruments, but it's you guys playing what you feel, which is so awesome to me, and it gives me inspiration. I know it should give younger people inspiration and everybody inspiration that you don't have to write genre specific anymore.
It's true.
You can do whatever the hell you want.
Good point.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like people just want to hear music. People crave music, and they don't care what it is.
Yeah.
So
all the
it's good,
great
it's good.
musicians are the ones that take from all different genres.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about the Old Main. It's great about you guys too. I mean, you guys take from all genres.
Yeah.
The Old Main covers everything from like the classic rock. They'll play Skinner
Yeah.
and Marshall Tucker, and then they're playing some straight up bluegrass and Rocky Top, and then their originals rock, and I mean, you're just all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I love it, man.
Like our show ender, we end it as a reggae, and it's like people are just like, oh, interesting. You're like reggae, okay. Like, but yeah, and that's exactly it because it's like. And especially like the music that I listen to now, I'm like, what do you call it? You know, like, because like I'm like really the only genre of music I really don't listen to is bro country, and I'm like, I just can't. Bro
I never
country.
heard that before.
Right.
Bro country.
Bro country.
I love
It's
it.
like
I know exactly what you mean.
Radio pop country. It's southern pop. It's not country.
Exactly.
Because like when I think of country, I'm thinking of like John Prine, you know, Waylon Jennings, and all that.
Johnny
and like
Cash.
Yeah, and like now that's considered Americana. Like that's
Yeah.
not country anymore.
Or what did they used to call it? Something country. It was
Outlaw country.
Outlaw country.
Yeah, outlaw
That's
country.
it, outlaw
Yeah.
country. Yeah.
And it's like I remember, and this has happened multiple times, where someone would come and be like, you know, I don't like country, but you know, I like you guys. I'm like, well, we're not country, so
That's probably why you like us.
that's probably why you like it.
Get that country right out of your head.
Yeah, like we're not Florida Georgia Line,
Right.
then that's not
Thank
country.
God.
Like
That's not.
Yeah.
I get. That's not my least favorite.
And again,
Yeah.
you know, McDonald's exists for a reason,
Right.
and so does Florida
Man,
Georgia
this
Line.
is great. I love this analogy. It's killing me, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because poor Tim, when we play on Thursday nights, like we do, unfortunately, do some bro country, and it's but we're not doing like
Does it get people dancing and they love it?
exactly.
That's what you got.
But
That's all.
and it's-
That's what matters.
you know,
People
like
pleasers.
Florida Georgia Line. The only song I've ever listened to by them that I like is a song called "Holy" because I'm a ballad freak. I just love ballads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the song "Holy," it's a nicely written song. I'm obsessed with Luke Combs right now because I think that he writes his own tunes, man. I mean, and he reminds me. Like he's almost trying to push country back into when it was cool, you know, like when it was real country.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
he's
And the
not
way
bro
he
country.
sings,
No.
he's not bro country. But then you got like what's his face, Luke Bryan, bro country.
Yeah.
You know.
What about Chris Stapleton though?
Chris Stapleton.
exactly.
Now that he's considered Americana, though, am I right?
Yeah,
you know?
really?
Yeah, he
I
really
think he's
is
phenomenal. I love Chris Stapleton.
oh my
a lot.
God.
Love Chris, and
Me
his
too.
new album is
Yeah.
so good.
And he's written so many
Yep.
songs.
You know
too.
that? You know what I just found out? Gary Johnson just enlightened me on this. Well, first of all, I watched an award show, and it was probably a country award show. I just happened to be going through, and I saw Chris Stapleton, so I stopped. And they were in the middle of giving him like his 4th award for the night, and they asked him if he wanted to pull his chair up to the stage so he could sit there and just keep accepting awards because like literally he was nominated for everything because the dude writes so much music. So you know the Josh Turner song that's called "Your Man," baby, lock them doors and turn the lights down low. Chris Stapleton wrote it.
Yep.
Wow.
I'm like, dude, really?
He wrote a
That's
bunch
a
of
great
stuff
song.
for Jason Aldean and all those guys, Kenny Chesney, and he's written a lot of songs.
And kind of when Chris Stapleton kind of like, because he was in a bluegrass band before
Yes, he was.
the
That's right.
Steel Drivers.
Yeah.
And when he left that, and when I heard he was doing his like solo album, I'm like, oh great, you know, he'll be like the other Americana bands I like he'll be like another Jason Isbell or the Avett Brothers, where they'll have like a really like good following, but they're not radio.
Sure.
Right.
And then when Traveler came out and, you know, it was on the radio, I'm like, oh, thank God. Now country is going to be like country now. Like it's not going to be bro country. It's going to be, you know, Chris Stapleton. He's going to usher in this like
New realm
new
of
thing of being new old.
Sure.
And it just hasn't really happened.
Yeah.
Like there's
You
Luke
know-
Combs
yeah.
and
You know what bro country reminds me of is what is it called the hardcore rap like the real like
Gangster rap.
gangster rap. It reminds me of that like the new gangster rap where they grew up in like, you know, suburbs USA and they're writing about how they dealt drugs and got shot and all this stuff and they never got shot or dealt drugs.
Right.
yeah, like
Same
they
thing.
listened to Tupac and Biggie being like, oh, I can do that. And then they ended up doing it worse, where like with Bro Country, they grew up listening
In Idaho.
to... Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They like grew up listening to
Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks
Sure.
and whatever.
Yeah.
Which, again, I feel like Garth Brooks with my like, little headset on. Actually,
I know, right?
funny aside, ADD of the show, I had to go to the hospital when I was 4 years old because I don't sleep, and I've brought this up before. Like I never sleep, and I haven't my entire life. And I'd wake up in the middle of the night, drink my parents' cold coffee, put on my VHS of Garth Brooks Live, and just jump around my living room. And I slipped on I slipped on my couch and busted my head open.
Oh my God.
And it's just like from then on out, I'm like, yep, that's my Garth Brooks story. Like,
Wow.
yeah.
You were hyper back then?
No.
Were you a hyper kid, or was it the coffee?
It was a 4-year-old drinking coffee at 3 a.m.
Right.
Like, that's what it was.
Wow, unbelievable.
That's so awesome.
You know what I want to bring up too? Rumor has it there's a member that left the band now is rejoining the band. A former guest of
This is true.
Local Music Monday, former guest.
Yeah.
I would say, and don't take this the wrong way, but I think he's the most handsome one in the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, by far. We all will agree with that.
Sure.
Mr. Nash is.
Let's just say like the looks went down for a bit, and now the looks are back.
now you become a chick band.
Yeah, exactly.
But I also heard that he will not be returning to his normal instrument. Is that true?
That is also true.
Wow.
Yes.
So
Is this funny that you're hearing people talk about rumors about the old domain.
It is. I don't know if we're rumor worthy, but
Well, you must be, because we're hearing, the rumbling around town,
No, it was announced. You made the announcement, and so what's that conversation like when you're talking to him? Because originally what was supposed to happen, he was supposed to take off to Ireland. COVID hits, that canceled his whole plans out.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So what's that conversation like? Is he just like, oh, can I get back in the band, or are you reaching out to him? How'd that go?
Well, it's like Nash and I never stopped hanging out, type of thing. Like he was doing a lot of writing for his solo stuff, and I kind of enjoyed taking his songs apart and rebuilding them, because he likes to put extra measures where there's not supposed to be extra measures, and he knows that. So he'd call me up and be like, "Hey man, I got this batch of songs. Can we go through them?" And we're just doing that all quarantine. And just one night, we were just like, "Hey, you want to do that?" And he was like, "Yeah, I was gonna ask," and well, I was gonna ask. But
was it as comfortable as you're explaining it?
Yes. And then we went out for wine, and
there you go.
But
stroll to the beach for a little while.
Then went for a nice swim in the woods, but but no, it was just like a normal now he's not leaving, and that was the reason he was leaving the band, and he's just like, yeah, I'd like to come back in, and he said, I'd like to come back in as long as we keep Blake and Pat, because they've officially come on board and everything, and we were kind of going in a direction, and he's just like, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna play guitar, I don't want to take over bass again, Blake's, and I don't know how much you guys know Blake Prost.
He's awesome.
He is an insane bass player.
Sure
he is a learned fella.
Yeah, it's the first time I got to see him at that last Woodland show that you guys were at, and wow, I just sat there and watched him the whole time.
Yeah,
wow,
and he's big in Syracuse. He plays if there's an acoustic act in Syracuse, Blake is there playing bass for them, and he is extremely good.
Yeah,
and we've gotten to know Blake over the years, just playing Syracuse stuff, and he was in the Ruddy Well band for a bit, and so we just kind of took him. And
you're mine.
Yeah. And then with Pat played pedal steel on all of our albums, and he was in the band Tumbleweed Highway.
Okay.
And they broke up a couple of years ago, and he played a few shows with us here and there, but he lives kind of far away. And like I said, he played on all the albums. So I just sent him a message being like, "Hey, do you want to come on board?" So when they came on board, we're like, okay, that's the band. This is the sound that we want, and we were kind of bending in a different direction and all these things. And then when Nash showed up and we had our first rehearsal, we're just like, oh, that's it. That's the sound.
Yeah.
That not just that we were going for before, but it's already what our, and I don't want to call it a new sound, because it's not really a new sound, but it's bent in a little bit of a different direction.
It's fine-tuned.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's very easy to be fine-tuned when you're playing with musicians that are better than you. So,
yeah. Incredible.
Yeah, and Blake and Pat are just top-level musicians, and it's just I've had to consciously up my game, being oh, I can't just sit here and beat the hell out of my guitar for an hour. It's I need to,
Yeah.
I need to know, dig into my theory from college and be okay, this is a minor seventh, and and then Pat's no, that's a sixth, Seth, but okay. And so it's been interesting, but completely natural and great.
Yeah.
I love it. Yep.
Now, are you putting Nash's song into the repertoire?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
He's got some great songs.
Oh yeah,
he does.
Yeah, he's become one hell of a songwriter, and kind of something that he's been working on the past couple of months is, for years he would take years to write a song, because he would write part of it and then not like it and just kind of put it away, and I would just kind of be no, Nash, that's a really good song, keep going. So he's kind of had this deal with himself. He's just he's gonna just start pumping out music, and he really has, and they're super good songs.
I'm hoping to get to that point.
Yeah.
I have the syndrome where I write, it takes me years to write a song.
Yeah.
Because I'm just I'll write something and be yeah, I'll start to get into it, and then I'm something pops into my head, and I'm this sucks. This is a horrible song. I'll put my guitar away. I'm not touching you for 3 days.
Yeah,
It's your punishment.
It's not the guitar's fault.
I know, but I got to make myself feel better somehow, you know?
Well, I was reading, and this was years ago, I was reading an interview with Bob Dylan from the 80s, and he was talking about how he writes songs and everything, and he's like, if I'm not done with a song in a half hour, I'm just going to leave that song.
Wow.
Like, I'm not going to go back to it. I might, like, pick a lyric here or there from an old song, but if it's not done in a half hour, I'm not using it. I'm just going to start over.
Yeah.
So I started doing that. Like when I first started writing, I'm just like, just stream of consciousness, see what happens, and then I'll just like write a song in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then put it away, go back and just fine tune some things. Because then you don't get in that rut of like, well, that bridge, like I could be going to the A there, but, like there's not enough lift. Like, should I do a modulation? Because like, no, just do it. I'm not writing, Dream Theater stuff. I'm not writing Rush songs. I'm not writing classical music. I'm writing like 4-chord yokel songs. Like it shouldn't be that hard. So like don't make it that hard on yourself. Like it's just like get it out, and if it sucks, you're like nobody's gonna see that. And then it's like, oh, there's something there, then just fine tune it later. Like
lyrics are always been my hardest thing. I can write music all day, and I could write 14 songs in a day right now, musically, bridge, everything. I could write it all right now. I'll tell you exactly what the song's about, too, but I can't write lyrics to save my life. It takes me such a long time.
Yeah.
An exercise that someone told me to do is, like, write without looking. Like, put, like, a notepad, like, kind of behind you, and just, like, if the music comes before the lyrics, like, record the music and just listen to it and just write down any gibberish that comes to your head without looking. And then you'll find things in that'll just kind of spark.
Oh, my God, that's
things.
so cool.
And I only did that once on a newer song, and I'm like, oh, that worked. Because usually lyrics come for me first, and then I'll write music around it.
Yeah.
And, like, this time I just had the music first, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to try that thing. And, I did, and like, oh, there's a song. Like, so, yeah, it works for me.
So cool. Yeah, I would love to do that.
Nice. We got to talk about Saturday, too. Saturday, we got the big party going on, the virtual party. Have you guys done a virtual concert yet?
We did one very early on.
Yeah.
It was actually the first time Pat and Blake met was at this show.
Whoa.
And it went really good, and I'm super happy with how it turned out. And, like, everyone was kind of dubious about it because they never met, and we were practicing with them separately and everything. And then it's like, oh, this totally worked out. All of our worries alleviated type of thing. So we did that one, and then I was doing some live streams for a bit. And then I, just decided not to because people just stopped tuning in.
Well, it's not that they stopped tuning in. I think summer hit. And when summer hit, people just stopped paying attention. But now that people are back on lockdown, we're going to go back on another lockdown, but the winter months are here. I feel like now is the time to hit it again.
And, and I heard that they changed the algorithm because so many like live videos were being published at the same time. And at the time, YouTube was like really, really promoting and pushing for live stream stuff because that was their new shiny thing. And then as soon as the pandemic hit and everyone started doing it, they like backed off on that algorithm to like a normal post type of thing. So like when I first started doing live streams, I'm like, I got 10,000 views on this thing live. And I'm like, that's great. And then 5 weeks later, I was like, okay, I got like 100 people watching. That's great. And then the last one I did, I'm like, okay, like 25 people tuned in. Okay, I'm going to stop because I'm like, I can do something else with my Tuesday night.
Yeah, for sure.
Drink scotch and watch Lord of the Rings. Like,
Drink that really awesome beer from Woodland.
Yeah, that super awesome beer from Woodland. A little plug there. They have a beer named after us. So we got.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do, man. You're the first band to have a beer named after them. Over there, which is awesome.
It was another good beer. It was like one of those like.
Did you guys have a hand in like developing it at all, or?
Well, like when we first started talking about it, he's like, "You guys are the most palatable band that anyone listens to because it's just like it's hard not to like what you guys do because it's like, it's very approachable." So he's like, "I want to do an approachable beer." So he kind of did. He did a Hell's Lager, which is like what a UC is, but it's just like I'm just gonna like beef that up. And that's like their their gateway beer down at Woodland. Of like,
Gateway
you know,
beer.
if you like Budweiser, you're gonna like the Old Main. And
So essentially, comparing it to McDonald's now.
yeah, I would say we're more of a Burger King.
I like what you did there.
But back to Saturday. Saturday we got the live stream happening.
We keep
live
going
stream
off.
concert. It's happening. The ticket link is in the description. It's only $10. You can watch the Old Main from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to worry about DWIs. There's no line for the bathrooms. You can eat whatever you want.
You can watch it naked if you want.
You can watch it naked. You don't have to worry about price gouging.
Yeah.
You know, you can pay for your own beers and and drink your own liquor and have your own food and don't have to wait in line. So
well, I will say, if there was price gouging at an Old Main show, I'd be a little happy. I'd be like, there's like price gouging at our show.
Cool. Ticket scalping and all that.
By the way, if you ever heard the Old Main, where the hell have you been?
Right, exactly.
But seriously, check these guys out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited for Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be cool, man.
Like-
It's a different vibe, of course.
Yeah.
We've done a couple
I
of
wish
these
I could
live
open
streams.
for you.
But the thing is, it's just like so weird with nobody in the audience, and you're playing in front of cameras, and then like the three people there in the audience, the sound guy, the light guy, and then me.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's kind of like a big thing, because I noticed this when we did our live stream before, is like, it's kind of different, because I was expecting it to be awkward, but when you're playing with your buddies, like we're all very good friends, so it's just like, you know, it's not awkward, because it's just like I'm playing to Mitch. You know, like it's totally fine with us. Like, I'd much rather have people there, but you know, but I'm and a big thing with Saturday is we're going to be playing like a whole bunch of new songs that we haven't been able to play out because we haven't been playing.
Right.
And you know, it's going to be our first show with Nash back, and it's going to be a good time. I'm curious how people are going to think of it, because the sound has changed slightly.
Has it?
So I'm sure there's going to be some people that will like it and some might not, but I hope they do.
I think just with Nash being back in the fold, I think people are going to love it.
Yeah.
It's that hair.
It's the hair.
Nash's hair.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, would I be right to say too, though, like back to like the awkwardness of playing in front of just cameras? I mean, like when you get a chance to play at a venue like that, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to be awkward, like, because you're like you're riding on adrenaline of playing a cool theater. You know what I mean? Like, happened to me every time I played the Stanley. I mean, I didn't care if there was 3 people there. You know what I mean? I'm playing at the Stanley Theater on the stage. I remember when I was a kid going, I want to play on that stage someday. You know, I did it. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, when you're there, it's just like the theater, and you're almost, the adrenaline of that is almost carrying you through. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we got to roll, don't we?
I'm just looking. I don't know. You have to pick up your son,
Yes.
right? Yeah. that's.
This is what happens, so I could sit here and talk all day. I really could. I love it. I love talking music. I love talking all this stuff, and it's great to hang with you, man. It really is.
Good to hang with
But I
you
want to
guys.
remind everybody, pick up your tickets. Watch the
Yeah.
show, comfort of your own home. You can watch it on your iPhone. You can watch it on any device. It's a one-time deal.
There's a giveaway.
Oh, you got a giveaway?
Yeah, we're doing a giveaway where if you take a screenshot of your proof of purchase and send it to either the Old Main's Facebook or Instagram, you're going to get a merch pack with a shirt, both our CDs, and some stickers.
That's so cool.
I got to get you a shirt.
And maybe one from the Disruption Network.
Yeah, I got to get you a shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot.
Well, I'm here now, so. And you're going to be there on the day.
The show.
Yeah, but we're going to be picking that the day after the show. So, like, you'll have up to, you know, after the show to just send us your proof of purchase, and then you're in for the drawing, and we'll be pulling it the Sunday.
Awesome.
Sunday morning.
great.
Cool. It's going to be a great time on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it.
Just a heads up to everybody out there. If there's, I don't know how many people are listening, but these virtual shows like this, okay, it's obviously to support different things. And so if you're buying a ticket and you're having 12 people over your house, have the 12 of them maybe buy a ticket too, just because. You know what I mean? It's
support your local music,
support
people.
local music. It's just like, you know, I mean, we all of us, I think, would love the fact that you're having a watch party at your house, you know, with 18 of your friends, but, you know, support the band, support what they got going on here, because we're just trying to keep it real for you guys, you know?
Yes, and we do have the ticket link in the description of this video that you're watching right now, so you could click on there right now and purchase your tickets. It's only $10. It's only $10. you don't have to buy that 12-pack for the week and just buy a ticket to see the Old Main. And
it's less than appetizers at Applebee's.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Before we do get out of here, there's a lot of people that checking in, so we got to say hi to everybody that's checking in.
Yeah.
Big ups to our friend Judy. Hi, Judy. Thank you for
Judy.
checking in.
Hey.
She says beer and music go well together.
Oh, yeah.
And they're having a party on Saturday. I know they purchased their tickets, so there's a little house party going on.
That's awesome.
The Judy posse, if you will.
Yep. The posse.
The posse.
Yeah.
They're known as the posse.
love it.
They're official. They have stickers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I need a sticker.
That's
no,
awesome.
you need to be posse approved to get a sticker.
I didn't know that.
yeah.
I didn't know that, huh? Also, who else is checking in? Our boy Tony. Checking in from Uncle Charlie and the Meatballs. Thank you, Tony.
Woo.
Everybody out there in Facebook land, if you could do us a favor, click the share button, spread this video. It'll help spread the word of the Old Main and what we're doing with the live stream on Saturday night.
Hey, Z,
So, yes.
I wonder if Tim Moyer's ever heard of the Old Main.
Well, I'm getting to him.
See what I did?
I'm getting to him. But yes, he has actually. In fact, I got a quick little
I was trying to
story.
figure out how to mention him because we haven't mentioned him yet.
He called me one day, and this is maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I can't remember. He called me one day. He's like, "Hey Z, you know anything about this Old Main band?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm friends with them guys. They're great. They're awesome." He goes, I'm digging their stuff. It's not really like usually what I'm into, but wow, these guys are really good. You think I can market them?"
That's Tim.
Yeah, that's
I love
Tim
it.
for sure. Always scheming, right? Yeah. But he's just. Let me tell you, that dude is so smart when it comes to entertainment and the entertainment world, and we're lucky we got him.
Yeah,
so
we are.
Big ups to Tim.
Just give me a call, Tim.
Yeah. You heard it here first, Tim.
Mike Coley's checking in. Switzerland is the Montreux.
Mikey.
Switzerland. Yes, thank you. I knew it was over there in Europe somewhere. So.
And he's saying that Kate Devin just turned 19.
All right.
So she's a phenomenal talent.
Yeah,
If you
she's
haven't heard
great.
her, we should get her on Local Music Monday.
Yeah, she's awesome.
He's always tuning in. Is he? I love that guy.
Mike Coley.
Mike's the best.
Mike is. I mean, I don't think I've officially met him, but
you
he's,
gotta meet.
yeah, he's
a
all
teddy
over the
bear.
place and supporting all the local music, and I
he's
love it.
so good.
Huge
I love
supporter.
it. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Check out 315music.com.
Yeah,
I think I already belong to that group. So that's
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, that's
oh,
him.
beautiful. Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's him. He's got
Awesome.
the little publication going out. I mean,
I hope
not
I get to
printed,
meet him.
but-
That'd be cool.
Oh, Mike's a great guy.
Yeah.
Mike's a phenomenal guy. So, and then Pat Raynard saying naked egg shaking.
Okay.
Is that what's happening on Saturday night?
Well, he'll be tuning in from his home, and he will be naked and egg shaking.
Okay.
So
So
that's what I'm assuming from the post.
please do not screenshot that picture because
No, it's
Do
proof
not
of
slide that
it's
into
proof of
Z's
purchase.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah.
Not proof of purchase, as in
A
you have
selfie.
Christine take a picture of you next to the TV that you're streaming it from. It's of the ticket,
gotcha.
Pat, not that.
And our good friend Moyer's checking in and he's saying Seth, get a hold of him. So
Wait a minute. Seth's telling you to get a hold of him. I mean, come on now. Let's get it straight here.
No,
What's happening?
Your
Either
people
way.
will get a hold of my people. It's all the we
make
have
it.
people for this.
see, look at Local Music Monday making shit happen, Justin.
Tim's gonna make you an offer you can't refuse. Okay.
Any offer is good right now. It's a pandemic.
But honestly, what Tim's doing with a lot of the college scene,
Yeah.
I think you guys would fit
Oh, my
perfect
God,
into
yeah.
all that. I hate
we
to-
have Nash.
I hate, and you got
True
Nash,
story.
But I hate
College
to bring
girls
up.
with Nash.
They'll have to put a camera just on Nash. You guys can all play, but just put the camera on Nash the whole time. It'd be like, see, we're college age.
I hate to say it though, but that other band, the Mumford Band,
Yeah.
but
They broke our glass ceiling.
those guys, right? They did. They kind of paved a little bit of a way for that
Yeah.
to open up for
Yeah.
guys like you, and I think you guys are way better than Mumford and Sons. Way better. I think so. I don't know. That's my opinion. Maybe
Hot take.
Maybe I'm biased because you're.
Yeah, I think I am too.
But yeah, cool, awesome. Thanks to everybody out there in Facebook land and YouTube and Periscope and Twitch and everywhere we broadcast the D.
MySpace.
And make sure we got to get back on MySpace.
Right?
Yeah, I think we need to bring that back.
Yeah.
The retro.
Yeah.
I tried to get into my account once and I couldn't remember.
I'm
my
gonna make a
password.
MySpace page for the band tonight.
Ooh.
All right, cool. Share it with all
Yes,
of us.
please do.
Yeah. On
Share it
Facebook.
All right. Awesome, man. Justin, are you playing anywhere this weekend that you want to plug?
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm going to be 40 next year. We talked about this, and I have to look it up on my calendar because I have no idea. Wednesday, I'm at Fratello's. This is like a weekly thing now. I actually figured out I'm playing 6 times at Fratello's in December.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is awesome. But I mean, it was 6 different acts, which is great. So I'm playing by myself at Fratello's on Wednesday. Friday, I'm there with the trio, Showtime Trio.
Okay.
And then Saturday, the Showtime Trio is at Lucan's.
Excellent. So you're busy. Good.
Yeah.
And then Saturday's the only gig for you guys this week?
I got a solo show at Woodland on Sunday.
Ooh, nice.
They're going to have Santa Claus there.
Okay.
And Santa is opening for me. So
Wow.
Very cool.
so it's going to be a hard act to follow.
Yeah.
Is that a kid-friendly show?
It is a kid-friendly show.
Awesome.
They're going
Cool.
to have free hot chocolate for kids and Santa Claus
And beer
me.
for adults.
What time does that start?
The Santa's going to be there at 10, I believe, and I start playing at 2.
Cool.
Cool.
Awesome.
That's really cool. That's good to know.
I like that Woodland mixes it up. They're always doing creative
Yeah.
things.
They had a scarecrow making contest the other day.
Did they?
Super cool.
Yeah.
Always doing cool creative things, man.
I'm thinking about seeing if they'll adopt me. I could put like a cot in there so I could sleep there whenever I want. You know what I mean? Like just like so I could be there for all the events that they do because it's just really cool.
Moyer's saying that they would kill. Actually, do you have Nash's number? Chicks dig Nash.
They do. They do.
Oh man, that's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, hey, sex sells, I guess.
Apparently, yeah.
But big ups to my sponsors. If not for my sponsors, this podcast is not possible. Thank you to EJA Moving Services, Attorney Dave Longaretta, Utica Coffee, and Saranac Brewery. And Seth, thank you, man, for coming down and hanging
Thanks
out.
for having
Next
me.
time we got to get some hot sauce.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm so down.
Oh man, we burned our mouths it was brutal last time we got
So
together.
we're gonna do that party we were talking about at some point, like we'll have it during the local music Monday. I think like we should get a bunch of us to play, just because the old man can set up anywhere.
Yeah.
So we could throw them in the corner over there, and they'll still find some way to set up there.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
And
they've done it here before.
Yeah. So I mean, but you guys can be like the house band, and we'll all just jam together. You know what I mean? And
Sounds
we
good.
should do that, and have a big party, and I think we should do that.
After the Corona Coaster,
Corona Coaster.
is over,
Yeah.
we're
Like
gonna
a
have
big coming back party.
All Celine Dion covers, though.
Oh, I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Do
All right.
you believe in love after love?
Just no, that was Cher though.
Yeah, you're right.
But how did I know that? That just
They're the
popped in
same
my head.
person,
I know
though.
they are. Oh God,
They are the same person.
we just can't have Tim sing "I Will Always Love You."
Yeah.
Or no, that was Whitney Houston.
Same person.
Same person.
We're out of here. Seth, thank you. Justin, thank you. Have a great week, guys, and I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
You'll be back.
Z's here every day.
I live here. Later, guys.
Bye.